Hello everybody. I have not been on social media by choice, also by circumstance, but that's not important right now. What I want to say is something that I've been praying about for a while, and I feel like I need to speak into this next 10 days before the election. Hopefully you are registered to vote. I think that deadline is way past, at least it is in Texas. Hopefully you know where to vote and when that happens. Early voting is now in Texas. It's been that way since Monday. There are even polls open on the weekend, so you should be able to take advantage of that if your work is complicated, life is complicated, we have complicated lives. Third, I hope that you do vote. Voting is a privilege and a responsibility. It's one of those civic duties that we hear about, learn about, hopefully in school. And some of us carry that front and center in our minds. Some of us kind of put it in our back pocket and don't think about it. Others of us get so caught up in what we're doing that we forget that really important thing. Please don't forget to vote. Please take the time to find out where you need to go. There is a great Texas website that tells you where the polling places are. Check your county website that tells you where the polling places are and the hours and for early voting. So it's there. You can find it. If you are watching this, you can find that information. And then last of all, once you have the logistics out of the way, some of you have already decided your vote. Some of you have not. There's this mysterious group of people who do not yet know how they're going to vote. But everybody, whether you've decided or not, please hear me. Listen to the voices that are speaking. If you are only hearing the voices of people who agree with you, then you need to check out what the other side is saying and listen, okay? If you have gotten a balanced overview of both candidates and you have made a choice, great. But I want to encourage you to remember that you need all the facts to make a good decision. Think about those of us who are in the Methodist flock. Think about your Wesleyan quadrilateral, and that we make decisions based on scripture, tradition, reason, and experience. Take that into your processing as you make your decision. And if you need help finding resources so that you can see the other side, finding resources so that you know what's at stake, finding resources to hear clarity, I will be following up on this post. But I also want to remind you that you who are voting are an American citizen. The country stays. Leaders come and go. The country stays. Think about the country that you want to live in. not just today, not just tomorrow, but the country you want your children and grandchildren living into. Also, as an American citizen and as a human being, you're a citizen of the world. Don't think that this vote is in isolation and only impacts your neighbor down the street. It also impacts the global community. There are people who are very concerned about the outcome of this election. Not just because you want to know, you want things to be certain again, but there are those who are looking at this election as a matter of life and death. It could be that to some people. And that's a broad context of life and death. It's not just one particular category that I'm trying to reference. I'm trying to be as apolitical as possible with this post. But really, really think through all of those things. And also, especially, think about the people who are speaking, the people who are speaking the loudest. Are they being truthful? Are they being fair? Do they have everyone's safety in mind? Everyone's health and well-being in mind? Are they favoring a few or favoring the whole? Just take a deep breath, step back, and think through that. Please, please. Be careful what you do. And consider yourself in relationship with yourself, with your family, with your God, with your community, with your nation, and indeed with the world. And think about how you're going to feel when your person is elected or when your person is not elected. What will make the difference? What will be different? To whom will it be different? And I really think that some people want to be so certain about what's going to happen that they forget about what might happen. Possibility is part of our reality. Things cannot always be 100% certain. We grow and change as human beings. That's part of our life. Our country grows and changes within the context of our chosen government. I'm thankful to live in America, to live in a place where voices can be heard, even though you might not agree with those voices. That's okay. In fact, that's wonderful. If you woke up tomorrow and people were not disagreeing with you, that would be a big problem, because that would mean that only one voice could be heard, whatever yours is. We value the freedom to speak our minds, to be heard. That doesn't mean that if we voice an opinion anybody should be able to ridicule or shame or condemn or in some way question who we are because we think something different. Why should that be? Think about the church. If you were a church person, think about how many different kinds of churches there are because there are different kinds of people. Nobody worships the same. Even in a church, you know there are those people that argue about worship and what's going to be played and who's going to sing and how that's supposed to happen. It's never perfect because it's composed of human beings. Our country isn't perfect. It is composed of human beings. But I think that we are trying really, really hard to make the best possible choices with the freedoms and responsibility that we are given. Think carefully how you use your freedom, how you wield your responsibility, and how that is going to impact someone else. Please think. Please vote. God bless you all.